let's walk through some techniques of how we can start to furnish our affordable home design as part of the interior design for the home. We're going to go ahead and move to level 1 floor plan. And here you're going to see I have some items already placed, but I'm just going to show you a few techniques of how you can go about adding in some new families into your particular project. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the Insert tab. First way is going to be to load an Autodesk family. This is part of the Imperial Library when I was searching some stuff before. So I'm actually going to go into the furniture category, and I'm going to look for beds. I'm going to go ahead and select the shaker style bed, and you can choose a few different ones here, but this is the one that you can choose multiples if you'd like. I'm just going to pick the one shaker style bed. I'm going to select load. And then when I go to the architecture tab and go to component, here is the double bed shaker style. And I can always kind of place, like in a room here, I can press the space bar to rotate. And I can go ahead and place a bed in there. And I can do the same thing down here in this bedroom. So that's kind of the process that as you look for, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel a couple times. How to load an Autodesk family. The next type that we're going to take a look at is going to be to go to the Insert tab, and we can load a family, which is going to be any files you get off Library Revit, Revit City, BIM Object, any of those types of websites. You can always go and kind of load those. So I'm going to go ahead and load family. I do have a folder where I'm keeping some Revit furniture files. So I've got one here of a dining table with chairs, and I really like, and I'm going to go ahead and select open. And it may upgrade when you do so, depending upon what year the file was made. I'm going to go to the architecture tab. I'm going to go to component. You're going to see that the dining table and chairs is here. So maybe I'll place that right about here just for the sake. And there we go. We're got a particular file type there. Now the next one, I'm going to go ahead and select insert. I'm going to load the family. This one is kind of a living room couch with chairs, rug, and tables. It also has kind of like a half wall and some picture frames on it. So I'm going to go ahead and load and open this one. What I want to do is I want to utilize some of this. So as I go to the component command, is I really want to turn this around, and I want to drop this. So then that way we have a little bit of room between our door and everything. You can kind of see where the rug's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and just click to place it. Now, the only thing is you can see that this little half wall kind of interferes with the door. So what I'm going to do here, and if I go to the 3D view, to be able to see this, I'm actually going to go ahead and go over to the visibility graphics. You can also select the V key twice on your keyboard, and that'll pop this menu up. I'm going to uncheck ceilings. I'm going to press the R key, and I'm going to uncheck the roofs and go ahead and select OK. While I'm here, I'm also going to right click on this little piece of wall and just say hide in view. So here you can kind of see on my interior design, as I look at my design of my home here, I can see that this looks pretty good. I like it, but I don't really care for having the little half wall with the wainscoting and the picture frames, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this, and you can also right click and say, it's like if I close this down, I can also select on the family and go to edit family, or I can right click and select edit family here too. And this is going to take me into the actual family file. Sometimes it depends on how the file is made. You can see that if I select, here they've got a few different model groups. If I want to get rid of some of this other stuff, I can. There's like a lamp and like some bases and things like that. So I'm actually going to select this part. You'll see it all selects. And I'm just going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. Like I don't really want that. And I want to go ahead and just kind of customize it for myself a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and say then load into project. I can either select just load into project and keep this tab open, or I can load into project and close this. So I'm going to choose load into project and close because I'm kind of done editing. For this one, it says, do you want to save changes? You can save changes. It's going to make you kind of provide another name. I'm just going to say no. And then that's going to actually go in. It's going to ask, what do we want to do? I want to overwrite the existing version. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you're going to see that's going to disappear. So this is going to give me an opportunity to be able to just use this as I want and kind of do a little bit of modification and editing. All right, our last thing that I want to kind of point out is in another kind of file type. So like here, I have a Revit furniture files kind of list, you do have to watch for the type of Revit file you're going to get. So you're going to see some of these will have a .rfa kind of file type, which is a Revit family. But sometimes we get some like this, and I'm going to go ahead and load this project. It's an Autodesk Revit project, and it's just a bunch of loose furniture. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this model, and you're going to see what this looks like here in a moment. It's just, this was a really great example I was able to pull from, is that sometimes the files that you get offline are Revit project, and you have all these different types of selections. The problem is you can't load that family because of that kind of going on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a way that you can grab what you want and then just pull that into your project. So let's say I want to grab this little table, this little grouping of table and 4 chairs. I don't want to mess with too much else, but what I can do is I can go to the Modify tab, which automatically pops up, and I want to go to this option over here, which looks like 2 pieces of paper, which is called Copy to Clipboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and you're going to see the Paste button comes up. But what I'm going to do is while I have this open, I'm going to go back to level 1, and I'm going to click on Paste, and I want to say Paste from Clipboard. It's going to maybe give me, it says some of these are different. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and click, and then now I can actually place this project, this table in here. So let me go ahead and just drop it right here in this little area. And maybe I want to get rid of this dining room table, and I want this one to go in its place. So we'll see. Let's go back to the 3D view. Now you'll see that particular table and chairs we had from that Revit project are now still grouped, and they're pasted right in here, and we can use that in our projects. So if you ever run into a problem where you have an RVT file and kind of like that, you can always select what you want, copy to clipboard, and in that way that they kind of, you get what you want out of it. All right, I'm gonna go back to edit visibility graphics. When you're done, I can always check back to add the ceilings and roof back in. And we can always take a look at, again, here's my roof that I hid. I'll have to go down to the little light bulb. Doesn't look like until I get to underneath side, there's a little pink line there. Let me right click and select unhide in view, and then turn the light bulb off. We'll see that wall portion come back, and there we go. So we are now looking at having the opportunity to furnish our particular affordable home. And those are just some of the different techniques of how you can be a little bit more creative and have a little bit more freedom to create it how you would like.